Hello, welcome to the Basketball Soapbox. I'm your host, Daniel Daly. In this one, we're going to talk about the Celtics' final stretch of the NBA season as they wind down here. As of today, there's only 20 games left for the Boston Celtics in the regular season. But let's start off with their first three games of the second half after the All-Star break there. Big wins against Indiana and Philly, but they dropped one last night to the New York Knicks. Let's get into it. We have the Indiana Pacers on what was that Thursday night of last week, and the Celtics basically had a slugfest, a shootout against the Indiana Pacers, who are better than their record. I think people look at Indiana and say, well, they're under 500, but they forget that Tyrese Halliburton missed nearly 2 months of action, and that really impacted their offense on that side of the ball. And in this game, they picked it up again. When you have a guy like Tyrese Halliburton that can come in there and just create for others and create spacing and draw to and drive the lane and stuff like that, to get guys like Miles Turner and Buddy Hield open shots. Benedict Mathurin has been in the race for Rookie of the Year so far this year. So this game was a little bit closer than people expected. But this game really showed off the Boston Celtics' depth there. Of course, Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum had 30 apiece. Jaylen Brown with 30, Jason Tatum with 31. Got good productivity out of Smart in his return after that ankle injury for a while. It's been like a month he's been out or so. So he came up big in overtime. I can't speak enough about Malcolm Brogdon and Derek White. I'll get into that. But Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, their ability to get 30 basically nearly every night. And you look at I think they tied Shaq and Kobe with 9 games apiece of scoring 30 apiece in the NBA season. They have 20 games to break that record, so hopefully they can break that record and get back on track. They're in a little bit of slump here right now, but those guys' ability to continue to score and continue to rebound, I think that's the most impressive things about them this season. But this game really just showed the Celtics' depth and how they really could have two guys that can close and really have a bunch of guys that can help and contribute. And I think that speaks to the depth of the Boston Celtics. In this game, that was basically a shootout. Miles Turner went off for 40 points. That was crazy. Just ape shit from three. Really didn't miss. And I'm surprised he wasn't. Well, of course, Indiana signed up to an extension. I'm surprised teams didn't try to get him before that. I thought he could have been a trade chip, as well as Buddy Hield, but Indiana stayed the course. They're trying to make the playoffs. They feel like they got a good nucleus there with Tyrese Halliburton, Buddy Hield, and Miles Turner moving forward. So it was a shock to see them not move before the trade deadline or even before that. But Indiana held it together, and they're looking really good. Unfortunately, Tyrese Halliburton got hurt. They were a fourth seed in the Eastern Conference before he went down. So they're probably just kind of getting to the playoffs. That's usually the end of it. The Pacers, MO, right? They always they're a small market team, always trying to get to the playoffs regardless. But we look back at the Celtics, it really just showed the depth of the Celtics with Malcolm Brogdon and Derek White. Sam Hauser came in and got 3 blocks and knocked down a couple of shots there to give us a little boost there. That was impressive in the game there for him. Just an all-around effort for the Boston Celtics in that game. As we move on to Saturday night, a primetime game on Saturday, big game against our rival, I guess the rival against the Philadelphia 76ers. Really just a balanced effort from the Boston Celtics. We got 26 from Jaylen Brown, 18 from Jason Tatum, and a big game-winning bucket for him late in the game. Al Horford just steady in pace. Knocked down a big couple shots in the fourth there, 2 threes, I believe. Also playing great defense on Joel Embiid. Of course, you can only do so much with Joel Embiid. He had 41 and 12 on the night, playing fantastic. And the Celtics just outgunned them. And, of course, the game is a series of runs. When the Celtics had 2 bigs out there, it was kind of sloppy for the Celtics there a little bit. But it also showed the versatility that we can have there when we have multiple ball handlers on the floor. And we just have Philly's number. Every time we face them, it seems like it's not going to be an issue, especially when we have guys like Smart and Derek White and Malcolm Brogdon out there just able to create some type of stretching of the defense of the Philadelphia 76ers. Jaylen Brown, I can't speak enough about him, how he turned up in the fourth quarter with a big run early on to really push the lead, I believe, to 10 at that point in time. And you're just getting that productivity for the Celtics that regardless of what the game looks like, they're able to pull it out, especially when they're fully healthy like this. And it's really encouraging to see that from the Celtics actually being healthy for once and really pulling it out in Philly there late, holding on to the lead a little bit. And the Philadelphia came back and tied it up, of course, with Joel Embiid attacking the rim. And then the final play of the game is a play that Joe Mazzulla said he stole from Brad, where they inbounded to Smart. He instantly hits Jason Tatum. He either gets a full drive to the basket or he gets his shot or he gets his own shot. Jason Tatum was able to pull up and knock down a big shot there against Philadelphia, which really was an epic win in Philadelphia, breaking the hearts of Philadelphia again. And it seems like the Celtics just do that all the time. I wish I could look up their record against them the past couple of years, but it's just like we have their number. We know how to beat them. And if we execute on a nightly basis, we can beat Philadelphia in the playoffs. We've shown that in the past, and I think it's going to continue just because we have two guys on any given night that give us a chance to win. And then you have the depth behind it, led by those two guys in Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum. The Celtics would just have Philadelphia's number. And now we go into the New York. After that emotional win against Philadelphia, in laying egg, it wasn't the Celtics night. Really missing a lot of shots there from three. We're 9 for 42 from 3-point range, which is awful. And we didn't have Jaylen Brown, and maybe things would have been different if Tatum was actually on and made a couple of baskets. He actually got ejected from the game late in the game, and it was kind of out of hand anyway. The only guy that really came out to play was Marcus Smart and Malcolm Brogdon for this team right now and last night. And the Knicks just played tougher than us. They beat us up. Jalen Brunson and Julius Randle were fantastic. Emmanuel Quigley also being able to knock down shots. Our defense just wasn't there. We weren't able to contribute and knock down shots. And that was the difference there. Free throw discrepancy. We weren't attacking the basket. And the 3-point discrepancy, only 3, but the Knicks made their shots and we didn't. The Knicks just played tougher. And it was just one of the, I don't want to say it's a schedule loss, but it was just a bad loss for the Celtics, I feel like, because it was just like we were close there, but we just couldn't go over the hump and we just couldn't make any shots there. That was unfortunate. That sucked. And the Celtics have to pick it up. They got the Cavs on Wednesday night, which is going to be an interesting game to say the least there.